Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my channel Revin Gaming. It's been a while. Basically just a very quick video. Seen the dev diary for Prehistoric Kingdoms come up and had a look, and yeah, really quite looking forward to this. So obviously, as you can see, this is the November dev diary, came out yesterday. So welcome to the November development diary. As the team will be on their holiday break in late December, this is officially our last blog post for the year. There's quite a lot of text to go through in this one, so let's dig into it. The state of development. First up, the team is trying to get Update 16 into public testing as soon as possible. While the content will be restricted and unfinished, we are aiming to start the PTB, so player test beta, during December to gauge early feedback, fix bugs and lock down a release date. Obviously December is a busy month due to the holidays, but stay tuned for more info and we'll do our best. Funding recap and thank you. Looking back to the start of the year, we want to provide an update on our financial situation. For those unaware, Prehistoric Kingdom was almost entirely out of funding as of January 2025. As you might imagine, this was a very stressful time for the team, and many of us voluntarily made pay sacrifices to keep the game afloat. Thankfully, over the last 11 months, we have been able to push out game-changing updates like breeding and seamless growth entirely thanks to your support. Whether it's been through buying a copy or supplying us directly on Patreon, you have made an incredible difference and provided us with the security to keep going. While sales do fluctuate month to month depending on discounts or game updates, the overall interest in Prehistoric Kingdom continues to increase. Patreon has been a massive help when making up for dry months, so if you can spare it, we will forever appreciate supporting us there. Truly thank you so much for all your help, the Prehistoric Kingdom team. I will put a link to their Patreon in the description of this video, because if you like this game as much as I do, we want to see this game released, totally understandable. So if you can help, if you can spare it, why not donate, even if it's like £1. So update 16, vivariums, new species. This is the Yi, and the Yi is basically a wyvern. Well, it's really a dinosaur from China, but instead of using feathers to glide, its wings were made from a bat-like membrane. Inside its mouth is a set of needle-like teeth that love to munch on insects, kibble and the occasional finger, and there we go, there's a picture of it in game. The first concept art for this fluffy fellow was drawn way back in 2021, with Yi originally intended to be part of the early access launch roster. We even had Nigel record lines for it, but due to the difficulties that came with the original mini Avery, Yi was shelved until now. Revisiting the original concept was a real treat, and there you go, there, as I say, there's what it's going to look like in game, and there's the concept art, like the original and what it is currently going to look like, and a picture of them in game, well, obviously with a work in progress. From a time long before the dinosaurs, Tiktaalik was one of the oldest animals coming to Prehistoric Kingdom. This fish is what's considered to be a transitional species, a link between land and water. Using its surprisingly sturdy limbs and muscular body, guests love to watch Tiktaalik propel itself onto shores of their vivarium. It may not be graceful, but it sure is fascinating. And there you go, there's a image of Tiktaalik there in game. If it's not on land, you'll commonly catch Tiktaalik below the surface exploring its aquatic domain. It's a great experience for Grandpa. And we've got a video just here. Oh no, no video, but my god, does that look cool. I'm so looking forward to having this in the game. There we go, and that's the video. So making a home. Since vivariums are quite a small space to build, and we've designed a system that allows players to quickly add or remove nature with just a couple of clicks. Depending on the chosen environment, there are a variety of nature presets that can be made more or less dense. These options can be freely mixed and matched, or even include Mesozoic plants if they've been unlocked. If you're not happy with how the items have been placed, you can even set or randomize the vivarium seed, redistributing your nature pieces, which is pretty darn cool, if you ask me. A lot better than Planet Zoo, where it is just in set places. Of course, you can, if you're more of a sandbox builder, you can always turn off generated nature or simply add your own touches to top up on top of it. So fantastic. And that actually a similar sort of system to Planet Zoo from the looks of it. Like, you just click on each button there and it'll add more or less, I'm assuming, as needed. When it comes to enrichment items, these can be toggled within the same menu. Each vivarium comes with its own predetermined enrichment spots that add new locations for your animal to explore. For example, the Compsognathus can jump up onto logs, and your Microraptors can glide to climbing frames. And there you go, there's a picture of the climbing frames with a couple of the Microraptors there, and an Archaeopteryx from the looks of it. Nesting box there. But it's looking solid, looking really good, I quite like that. And there's a logs there, which obviously that'd be for the Compsognathus, and the water enrichment for the Tiktaalik. All vivariums above were made using a mix of hand placement and auto generation, so there's plenty of opportunity to make things look really quite decent, so that's good to see. One of our favourite items is the arboreal tree. When disabled, the perch looks more like something you'd see in a real zoo. Turn it on, however, and your flyers are right at home. The vibe is up to you. So by default, it's going to look like that. And yeah, we're keeping it arboreal. Let's be honest, the arboreal tree looks so much better than the default, but it's still a good option to have in there. We should also mention that all of these enrichment items will be available as separate decorative and modular pieces. Oh, that's good to know as well. Enlightening. And so, after all that, vivariums are almost done. We're currently working on the management side of things and are animating the remaining species. We really like how this system turned out and love its flexibility, especially when it comes to things like null, styling and enrichment. To finish off the work on their customization, players can also change vivarium's light colour. This is perfect for making reptile houses or nocturnal habitats. We cannot wait to see what you do with them, and that is just looking banging. That looks so good. That actually does look like something you would see in an actual zoo. How many of these species are in the vivariums currently that we know of are nocturnal or dinoctal? But a nocturnal or crepuscular, that's the one I'm thinking of, are nocturnal or crepuscular. I don't really know off the top of my head, but it's a good little extra to have, definitely. Vets and diseases. Diseases and ailments can come in a variety of forms. There are over 25 different conditions, each caused by things like weather, poor habitats, or worsening sickness. Some examples include a common cold, a contagious disease potentially contracted from weather or swimming, silicosis, particulate caught in the lungs caused by a lack of plants in the habitat, roundworm contracted from eating contaminated feeders, plant toxicosis contracted from eating plants of the wrong era, and mites contracted from using dirty bedding. Most diseases can be treated early most diseases can be treated early to stop them developing into something much worse, e.g. the common cold into pneumonia. For this, you'll need a special type of staff member, vets. To identify and deal with disease in the park, players will need to hire vets. Their primary task is to walk around and automatically survey habitats, alerting the player to issues as they arise. If an animal becomes sick and they have not been recently surveyed by a vet, the player will not be aware of something is wrong until the next survey. Despite this, many illnesses will show physical symptoms such as sneezing, skin irritation, lethargy, or frequent droppings. Lovely. If the player notices or thinks something is wrong, they have the option to manually call a vet to visit the animal. And there's just an UI concept art of what it will look like depending on how good a health they're in, I'm guessing, and how long it is to the next survey. Poor Gary. Gastroenteritis, never fun. Never had it myself, but not something I particularly want to have. When a disease has been found, vets will medicate animals from a distance or sedate them and use the new medicine resource to treat them in the field. A sick animal cannot lose its survey status until all its issues have been cured. Preventing disease. As vets inspect your habitats and vivariums, they'll also check on the cleanliness of any feeders, water troughs and bedding within an area. The less spread out these modules are in the enclosure, the quicker the process will be. Dirty modules are a potential source of disease, so if they're found, keepers will be called in to clean them. In case of feeders, food will be completely thrown out and replaced if a disease is identified. And you're going to get the stereotypical like green fog coming off of it if it's not clean, I'm guessing, from the look of that picture. But it's also good to know. Players can also add supplements to feeders using medicine delivered by vets. Once ingested, animals will receive temporary buffs depending on what the player has enabled. Vitamins, the animals are more resistant to getting sick, increases immunity and growth speed. Steroids, the animals heal faster from light wounds, increasing vitality and growth speed. Will be useful for competitive species like Triceratops once combat is added. Mating booster increases courtship during breeding season. Mating suppressant decreases courtship during breeding season. And mutagens increases the chance and intensity of mutations from parent to offspring, e.g. wider variations in genetic immunity, fertility and random skins for babies. To compensate for these changes, the growth speed for animals will be lowered across the board while the courtship chance will become more varied per species. Research and quarantine. While vets can deal with basic illness right away in the field, some advanced ailments might need the player to explore new treatment options. This starts by researching the quarantine bay, a module that is required to treat certain things like bird flu, sepsis, or eventually in Update 17, broken bones. Once an animal has been moved into a quarantine bay, this will give your vets a sterile place to work while also protecting nearby animals from any contagious disease. A quarantine bay must be stocked with medicine in order to treat animals, and this is a placeholder. So this is a mock-up of what it looks like, and that vet is much braver than I am. But that's going to be like a mock-up of what they're going to look like, I'm guessing. As you can see below, all of the mid-late stage illness is either must be researched to perform treatment in the field or entirely rely on the quarantine bay. To prevent the worst from happening, you'll want your vets available, habitat spotless, and this research tree completed. And there we go, there's an example of the research tree, which is kind of what you'd expect to see in this video. And next year, this is the bit I'm really quite looking forward to. Since this is our last dev diary of the year, we wanted to briefly talk a little about 2026. If you've been keeping up with the roadmap, you'll know that after Update 16, Prehistoric Kingdom will be 2 major updates away from full release, which is fantastic news. There are a few features here and there that are yet to be revealed, but the biggest headliners for next year will definitely be hunting, combat and breakouts. These remaining updates are going to be substantial and very time consuming, but they'll finally bring all the pieces together. By the end of 2026, Prehistoric Kingdom should be mechanically complete. In terms of next year's roster, it's finally time to add the Stegosaurus, which is an animal I've been wanting for so long. This Jurassic Classic will be arriving in 4 different designs, 2 for Stegosaurus Stenops and 2 for Stegosaurus ungulatus. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, I probably butchered it. We can't wait to show you how the others look. So there's an example of Stenops, which looks incredible, which I'm so looking forward to getting this Stegosaurus. Just give me the update now. The 3D model will have different proportions to the concept art, but as it says there, it's a concept art. It is what it is. And as you've probably already seen while I've been rabbiting on, its contemporary predator Allosaurus will also be stalking its way into the game. This ferocious predator will have 4 different species, each with a proper skull shape to make them one of the most diverse and deadly animals in Prehistoric Kingdom. And there we go, there's a mock-up of the Allosaurus. So 2 really big names coming to the game, always good to see. And then community spotlight, we've got fan-made art by JKOC 1115, which it looks incredible. And then that is looking incredible as well by S.R. Yepeto. So Yepeto, and this one by Erat. Incredible pieces of art, guys. Thank you for reading November's Dev Diary. Once again, thank you so much for your support over the past 12 months. You kept Prehistoric Kingdom alive and helped us create the biggest year ever. The Dev Diary will return in January with our roadmap for 2026, outlining what we hope will be even bigger year, for 2026, what we hope will be an even bigger year, filled with the things you've been begging for: combat, hunting, management improvements. Redacted. It's going to be great. In the meantime, we'll be keeping you updated on Update 16 with hopefully some playable stuff in December. Until next time, and happy holidays, the Prehistoric Kingdom team. Well, as I say, really big news coming there. Loving the fact we're getting a Stegosaurus and Allosaurus. This is stuff that's been in my wish list for a while, which I'm still umming and ahhing about where I should make a video for, but really big news. Really looking forward to this update. Thank you very much for staying until the end of this video. Have a good one. Bye bye.